Hi guys, it's Sam. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, I realized. I've been so ridiculously swamped with everything going on that I kind of just forgot to do these, honestly. So sorry about that. That means that I've got a lot of catching up to do, and as a result, I'm just gonna kind of try and get it all out in one big unedited movie stretch and hopefully get everyone up to speed, because frankly I have so much stuff going on right now that I just don't really have time to like script out and edit a video. So yeah, I'm just gonna go forward and hopefully I don't stutter too much. Okay. So the last update, as I recall, was right before I went on my family trip, which was awesome and gave me a lot of time to work on storyboards and kind of, rethink certain parts of the series and the direction I wanted to go, and also do a couple little script tweaks here and there to sort of clarify character motivations and stuff like that. So yeah, then I came home and then I recorded all the remaining dialogue from the, principal characters that I had to get. That meant recording the solo tracks for Angela's voice actress, Nika, and Helen's... Oh, shit. You know what, fuck it. Yeah, Helen's in episode 2. Huge spoiler, whatever. Helen's voice actress... God, I hope that's... screw it, it's not a big spoiler. So yeah, Helen's voice actress, Marley, and then Andy's voice actor, Dan. And everything went pretty well. Marley is super awesome to work with, and Nika is like just the best. Although she was a little tough to pin down because I don't know if you guys know this. Nika is currently crowdfunding a movie that she is writing and directing, which recently just got funded. So yeah, she is moving to Italy to shoot this thing, and I'm super excited about it. And I will probably post a link to it down below if I can, if she's okay with that. So basically what that meant is that she was pretty hard to tie down because she was she had a lot of plates spinning, and also if all went well, she was going to be leaving for Italy fairly shortly. So, kind of getting her in a room with her wasn't exactly easy. But I managed to do that. Went great. Recorded with Dan. Which was an amazing recording session because Dan is a stand-up comedian, which basically means that, like, half of the recording session is him just, like...
I played a star up in the North End.
Whee!
Come inside my mind. A nice rendition of Othello.
Oh, come on, Phil, let me out, boss, let me out.
Oh, that really helped out my bunion, God.
All right, we're using that.
No, we're not.
That's in the episode.
If
Can't
you
stop.
use
I'm
that,
the director.
That is also true. You were the director slash animator slash coordinator slash everything, every man.
So anyway, yeah, got all the voice acting done, long story short, and then came the fucking, the moment of truth, which is that I finally had to really start animating this thing. I'd done a number of test shots before I left on my trip, and I had done some early shots for the first scene or whatnot, but now that I actually had the voice acting, it came the time to actually start animating the characters talking and really seeing if the character models that I had made were sort of up to the challenge of actually, moving and animating and actually looking good on camera. So that was pretty terrifying. And when I was first starting out, I was going super slow because I was really overthinking every single movement that the characters were making. And I was like, every single second of this has to be perfect, and it needs to move exactly right, or else this whole thing just isn't going to work. And I had a little bit of trouble at the beginning, if I'm being honest. Making the first shot that you actually know is going to be seen by people, and that people are going to really judge and choose to keep watching or stop watching based on it is so much pressure. And also just in general, there's so much more kind of nuance that I wanted to get out in the performances of this episode that really I had to carry through with the animation. Because I realized that before, whenever I was animating, my movements were generally pretty simple and kind of, not terribly naturalistic, I guess. Like generally people would talk and they would lean this way when they're saying something, and then sort of lean forward, maybe look up, maybe look down, occasionally shrug their shoulders and blink. And then maybe once every so often they go, you know, oh, but this is something that's going on, so maybe I won't do that. You know, I thought it looked fine for the most part, but for this one, I really wanted to step up my game. I really wanted to get emotions across with my animation, and to do that, I kind of had to take myself back to school in a lot of ways. I have no formal animation training, so it's all pretty much just been trial and error up to this point. So I basically I took some time, I rewatched or watched a lot of principles of animation videos, rewatched a lot of my favorite animated movies, CG and 2D, to kind of get a handle on, you know, posing and expressions and whatnot. But for me, at least, the real kind of trump card to this episode is that my character designer, Mac, is actually like a professional animator who's worked on like really cool stuff. So for the first time, I've kind of been able to actually show my progress to another person who actually understands animation, and they can give me informed feedback on it. Throughout my entire career, it's pretty much just been me judging myself, and there's only so far you could get with that. I could, you know, show it to a friend and say, does this look good or not? And they could say, like, you know, yeah, it looks good. What would you change? You know, I don't know. There's really only so much, you know, you can kind of get from that. But with Mac, they've got a lot more experience with this kind of stuff, so they were able to do draw-overs of some of my shots to give me an idea of like how to improve the posing, and just a lot of little tips and tricks that I never really taken into account, but that were just super helpful. Like little things, like when an eyebrow is moving up and down, the base of it should always be the tip of the eyebrow right there. Like, you don't want an eyebrow to just move up all at once. You want it to kind of stay rooted on, you know, on the outer tip of the eyebrow. And once I did that, suddenly all of my expressions looked so much more natural. And I just wish someone had told me that 5 years earlier. So anyway, that has been super productive, and I am so thankful to Mac for helping me out on that end. But yeah, long story short, over the past, you know, several weeks, I've just been kind of plugging along on the animation, and frankly, this thing is actually, like, I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. Honestly, that's the thing, I don't really have too many, like, major, like, updates to talk about. I've mostly just been, you know, I got the voice acting done, and now I've just been animating, and, you know, same old, getting concept art and props and backgrounds from my, you know, from my artists, and it's kind of just been, you know, plugging along. And honestly, it's been just awesome. It's so different when I'm actually animating than it is from anything else, and I'm so glad to be on this stage of production. So, yeah, God, this got rambly. Whatever. Anyway, long story short, everything's going really great. I'm super happy with how it's looking so far. It's coming along a little slowly, but I'm getting faster, and I'm getting, like, more used to this style of animation every single day. So the pace is gradually kind of picking up, and I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting into the swing of this. So, yeah, I'll try to update you guys more often from here on out. Although, again, it's a little tricky because, like, it's hard to really say what the milestones are right now without spoiling things. Like, before, it was that, you know, oh, I got these backgrounds done, or oh, I finished writing this episode, or oh, I finished, you know, casting these voice actors. They're, like, kind of milestones. But now I'm just kind of in the process of, like, okay, I finished this scene. Oh, I finished this number of shots. You know, I'm just kind of in the thick of it right now, and I can't really say what scenes or shots or whatnot I've finished without spoiling them. But I'll try to keep you guys updated, like, in one way or another, because, again, I don't want you guys to think that this, you know, that I'm ever not giving my all and working as much as possible on this and, you know, moving forward. So, yeah, I guess that's where I am right now. And, oh, one more thing. So I mentioned before in my last update that I had been talking to the guy who scored my last episode, and I really learned a lot on that end while working on Song of the Sky's pilot, because basically what happened is that I finished animating the entire episode, and then I just gave it to Joe, my sound guy, and was just like, okay, can you score and sound design this? And he really was awesome with it. I think the final sound design of the first episode is fantastic, but it's a lot to put on one guy, and it really kind of bottlenecked the whole episode's production just on Joe. And the fact that he didn't just, I don't know, punch me in the face when he realized how much work he would have to do is a real testament to his character. So this time around, what I'm doing instead is basically, I'm starting out, before I have any, like, concrete scenes to give him, because right now it's kind of all over the place, I'm giving him a number of character themes that are kind of run through the whole episode. So, you know, this character has, you know, sort of a general mood that their scenes are going to have. This other character is going to have sort of a general mood. And then this other character is going to have, like, a very specific sort of attention-getting piece of music that's gonna kind of be their theme. It's going to play at, like, this scene, and it's going to come back on this scene, and has to get across this very specific mood. So I gave him a number of sort of musical ideas that he can play around with. And then when I finish, you know, the first couple of scenes, I'm going to give them to him, and he's going to, you know, take those musical ideas and really score those scenes while I'm working on the next couple of scenes. And then when I finish them, I'm going to give it to him, and we can kind of stagger the workflow a bit so that, you know, we can both be working on this simultaneously, and hopefully that works out well. I'm pretty excited about it. He's really jazzed about this episode, which is really great to know because he's been so great to work with. And yeah, hopefully that all works out. So yeah, sorry, I know this is really rambly. I have no idea how long this is going to turn out to be, and apologies in advance. I'm not good on camera, but yeah, that's where it is right now. So yeah, good luck to all you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with this. I'm really, really excited about where this episode's going and where it's gonna take me before it's done, but I hope you guys will be along for the ride. Thank you so much for everything, and until next time, adios. All right. Hopefully that wasn't shit.